The crew of NASA's simulated Mars habitat have emerged after a year. We've got that and a lot more to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, so per AP News, crew of NASA's Earthbound simulated Mars habitat emerge after a year. That's crazy. The quartet lived and worked inside the space of 17,000 square feet. Okay, that's pretty big, I guess. The first Shapia crew focused on establishing possible conditions for future Mars operations through simulated spacewalks, as well as growing and harvesting vegetables to supplement their provisions and maintaining the habitat in their equipment. They also worked through challenges a real Mars crew would be expected to experience, including limited resources, isolation, and delays in communication of up to 22 minutes with their home planet on the other side of the habitat's walls. 2 additional Chapia missions are planned, and crews will continue conducting simulated spacewalks and gathering data on factors related to physical and behavioral health and performance. So there you go. They were in this simulated habitat for a year, and now they are out, but they are going to keep doing experiments. What do you think, guys? Will we get a Mars colony in our lifetime? I think we might. In other news, check this out. The other day, the AARO website was down, just completely down. Here it is. What's going on? I mean, it's back now. Here it is right now. Here it is the way it looks now. But this is what it looked like the other day. Not found. What was going on with the AARO website? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Meanwhile, Ronnie Vernet gives us an update from the Amazon. He's gone down there to collect evidence and data on the UFO flap gripping the villages in certain parts of the Amazon. And he says, full briefing sessions about my Amazon UFO mission will start next week. As previously announced, Patreons and other donors will receive it first. I am not a Patreon donor, so I won't be receiving it first, but very interesting. He follows up by saying, Sumama, I think I may be saying that right. Probably not. Sumama. All right, I'm going with Sumama. Sumama is the sacred tree from the Amazon, according to the Brazilian indigenous knowledge. Its base is a not visible portal that connects our reality with the spiritual world. Mythological beings from the forest come in and out through this portal. Very interesting. The indigenous leadership prohibits anyone from getting close to a okay, I'm gonna try to do better. Sumauma. That's probably not right either. So all shamanic rituals must be made during the day. Children are now allowed to get close anytime. Maybe that's supposed to be not allowed. Either way, here is the video of one of those trees where these shamanic ceremonies are done. It's supposed to be a sacred tree. I take all this very seriously. I've had, firsthand experience with ayahuasca multiple times, and of the reality of indigenous Amazon, shamanic practices. So, in beliefs. So, very interesting. I would love to know more and maybe experience something with trees like this. I hope to get a chance to go to Peru sometime and try it out for myself. Speaking of Peru, as I do frequently on this channel, is definitely a hot spot. Richard O'Connor, the gentleman that appeared on Matt Ford's The Good Trouble Show, is raising money for a scientific investigation of the Nazca mummies. I will link to this. His goal is to raise $50,000 to support scientific research on the Nazca mummies. So I will link to this, and you can go and hopefully contribute to this well of the funding available for him for the Nazca mummies. Meanwhile, check this out. This is per the think tank sharing this dragon UAP footage. Very alarming that these tiny UFOs that buzz our aerial vehicles, and Dr. Robert Shipe calls them dragon UFOs or UAP, because at first he thought they were dragonflies until his research convinced him that they were actual UFOs. Well, what they do is they buzz our aerial vehicles. And here is a great example of that. Very alarming. Why is it alarming? Well, check this footage out. Also from the think tank, if this footage is legitimate, it appears to show a dragon UFO buzzing this plane, and this plane immediately suffered a malfunction that caused it to crash. The pilot parachuted to safety, but still a very alarming accident, or was it an accident, possibly caused by this otherworldly craft. But, again, I don't know if this footage is legit, but I do think that these Dragon UAP may be responsible for other similar accidents. But I would love more information on this, and I do think they are likely accidents because these small UFOs, these Dragons, do buzz our planes and helicopters all the time, usually with, no incident. But there's something going on there. What is this constant surveillance of our vehicles in our military installations? Why do they need to do that? Surely these sophisticated beings with this high technology, they would have other means of surveillance other than these little drones. I don't get it. What are they doing? Is it a message? Meanwhile, is this real? Did this guy just invent a perpetual motion machine that can power electrical devices? Yeah, using some sort of fluid in there. I don't know what that is. Is that Italian soda or something? I don't know. But yeah, check it out. Then he's using that to power a light bulb, and then he goes on to power a fan, supposedly. Again, I don't know if this guy's on the level or not, but very interesting. So you guys that are more technological than I am, let me know what you think about this device in the comments below. Meanwhile, the fully intact skull of an ancient sea monster has been found in England. Check this out, guys. 150-million-year-old sea monster found in England. The entire skull of a huge sea monster was unearthed on the rocks of the Jurassic Coast in southern England. It belongs to a plesiosaur, a ferocious marine reptile that terrorized the oceans 150 million years ago. The 2-meter-long fossil is one of the most complete specimens of its type ever discovered and is giving new insights into this ancient predator. The skull is longer than most humans are tall, which gives you a sense of how big the creature must have been overall. Yeah, check it out. This is what one of these bad boys look like. It doesn't look all that scary until it takes a bite out of you. I mean, that guy's got some teeth. I mean, yeah, his head is as big as we are tall. That is crazy, guys. And just a beautifully preserved skull of that bad boy. Look at that. It looks like an alligator head, but he's also way more elaborate than that. He's got the big dragon neck right there. Speaking of dragons. Anyway, pretty cool skull. Okay, I wanted to get your thoughts on this phenomenon. This was sent to me by a viewer of the channel, Jessica, and she captured a really intriguing phenomenon going on with these clouds. So I want to know what you think. What is this? What is going on here? Is there a ship behind this cloud? But just keep watching. It gets weirder. You see there's a light, and it disturbs the cloud, which then reshapes itself. The light reshapes itself, or the cloud reshapes itself. It's a weird sighting. I think there's probably a ship behind those clouds. But anyway, a very intriguing event. I wanted to share it with you and get your thoughts on it. Have you ever seen anything quite like this before? Either way, thank you, Jessica, for sharing this footage with us. I hope some viewers out there can give some insight into what is going on here, if this is a UFO that is behind this cloud, or if there's something else going on altogether. Meanwhile, Whitley Strieber tells us an unusual story.
And I'll tell you, one of the stories in them is sent to me by a young guy. He was on station, I believe, in Germany, and he met this girl.
I'm minimizing it so that my head isn't blocking Whitley's head. His head is smaller now, but at least you can see it.
That he was just crazy about. And she reciprocated to his amazement, and they became friends. And it built gradually until finally they made love with one another. And it was a wonderful experience for him. He thought he'd found his wife. And the next thing he knew, she cut him off, wouldn't talk to him anymore. And then she told him to come down to her apartment. And she said, "You're not going to ever see me again after tonight." And whereupon he slowly turned into, before his eyes, sitting across the room from him, just a few feet away, a gray, and then turned back into her human form. And he was left thinking, my God, I gave an alien a baby. That was all it was about.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
okay, now I've heard of that, several times, of these shape-shifting beings that will seduce humans. I've heard of one encounter, a very similar, actually two or three encounters of reptilian beings that impersonated humans. They slept with humans and then either revealed themselves as reptilians or their hologram or whatever flickered, and the person they seduced afterwards was able to see for a moment that they were indeed reptilians. So it's intriguing to me that these beings that you wouldn't think would reproduce in that fashion, reptilians you would think would be, more egg-laying beings, fertilizing in that way. Greys don't seem to have much sexuality. So are they just collecting the DNA through the sexual act and storing it somehow? Or are they actually having sex? What is going on there? Maybe they can actually change their form, and in that form, they can, collect the DNA. What is going on there with these crazy stories, with these beings that you wouldn't think would normally, reproduce in that manner? Meanwhile, check out this crazy meteor in Budapest. This is wild. An appropriate reaction, and I think this is the same object. That is damn cool, guys. Okay, now this is a great UFO sighting. This is captured in Texas on June 25th. That's all there is. At first I thought it was a meteor, but then I saw how it disappeared behind that cloud and didn't reappear. Now it's possible that it broke up right there, and it never, the reason it didn't reappear is because it just broke into 1,000 pieces, but then I would expect to see something over there. It's almost like a UFO just came over here, did a power up, a pulse, a light bulb, whatever you want to call it, and then vanished behind the cloud. So let me know if you think this is a meteor, a UFO, or something else altogether. Meanwhile, I thought this was a really cool thought shared by the Knowledge Archivist. And talking about Michelangelo's most famous work at the Sistine Chapel. In the work, God's finger is stretched to the maximum, but Adam's finger has the last contracted phalanges. The meaning of art is to explain that God is always there, but the decision to seek him belongs to man. Look at that. That is just a beautiful thought, and it's you can clearly see that is the case in the picture. See, God's finger is fully maxed out, but Adam's hadn't quite decided if he wants to extend that final finger to touch the hand of God. Of course, when I think of God, I don't think of it or him or the being as source, as necessarily a religious concept. But I do think there is something out there. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Last but not least, giant convertible umbrellas that offer sun during the day in Saudi Arabia. Check this out, guys. That's pretty wild. That's pretty swanky, I gotta say. That was pretty swanky. All right, let me know what you think about these amazing umbrellas and everything else covered today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.